I grew up in Portland, Oregon. A quiet street, nice house, normal family. At least, that's how it looked from the outside. My parents were good people on paper. Dad was an accountant. Mom was a nurse. We had family dinners, summer trips, Christmas trees. But under all that, there was a clear favorite. My younger brother, Ethan. He was born with a heart defect. Nothing life-threatening after age 5. But it gave my parents a reason to baby him forever. Every small effort he made was praised like a miracle. Every mistake I made was treated like a failure. When Ethan forgot homework, I had to help. When he broke Mom's vase, I got blamed for not watching him. If I got an A-, Dad asked what went wrong. If Ethan passed a class, they threw a celebration. He was the fragile one. I was the reliable one. They said I should understand because I was older. But what they really meant was that my needs didn't matter. By 14, I stopped expecting fairness. I started mowing lawns, saving money, buying my own things. Once, I bought a gaming console with my savings. Ethan begged to use it. When I said no, he cried until Mom forced me to share. He broke it the same day. They told me to be more careful. That's when I learned to lock my door. At 16, I bought my first laptop after months of work. Ethan wanted one too. Dad told me to give him mine and buy a cheaper one. I said no. Mom cried, said I was being cruel to my sick brother. Ethan wasn't even sick anymore. But sick was their favorite excuse. It gave them permission to ignore everything I did right. By 18, I was done with that house. I moved out for college and never looked back. I studied computer science, worked nights, lived cheap. I built everything myself, no help, no safety net. Ethan stayed home, jobless, aimless, still adored. Mom said he just needed time to find his passion. Dad said I should support him because family sticks together. But family only stuck together when Ethan needed something. When I graduated, they didn't come to my ceremony. Ethan had a bad week, so they stayed with him. That told me everything I needed to know. I started working at a tech firm right after college. Long hours, high stress, but I thrived. I saved money, bought my condo at 26. Meanwhile, Ethan was still in the basement. Still figuring life out. Still living off my parents' guilt. They called me cold for not visiting often. But every visit felt like stepping back into the same nightmare. Mom praising Ethan for waking up before noon. Dad bragging that he finally got a part-time job. Me, I could have won a Nobel Prize, and they'd barely care. I learned to smile and nod. Pretend it didn't hurt. But deep down, I was keeping score. And someday, I knew I'd stop playing the game altogether. By the time I turned 25, I had everything under control. A solid job, a stable income, and a plan for my future. I was working as a software engineer at a tech company in Seattle. I worked long hours, but I loved it. Every promotion felt like proof that I could build my own life. No one handed me anything. Every dollar I had came from grinding. While I was busy moving forward, Ethan was stuck in place. He dropped out of community college after one semester. Said school wasn't for him. Then he tried personal training, but quit because mornings were too early. Next came photography, DJing, and crypto trading. Each phase lasted about a month. Every time he failed, Mom and Dad bailaid him out. They said he just needed to find his passion. His passion was spending other people's money. He still lived at home, in the basement. He had a 70-inch TV, a gaming setup, and a stocked mini fridge. Mom washed his clothes and cooked his meals. Dad paid for his phone, gas, and insurance. They treated him like a guest, not a grown man. Whenever I came home, the same script played out. Mom bragged about Ethan getting Employee of the Month at a part-time job. Dad said Ethan was thinking about starting a business. Meanwhile, I'd just gotten promoted to senior developer. No one cared. When I bought my condo, Mom said, "That's nice, honey." Then she told me Ethan was looking at apartments. He never moved out. Said rent was a scam and stayed in the basement. I tried helping once. I offered to teach him coding basics. He said it was boring. He wanted something that made fast money. That was always his goal, fast results, no effort. I started noticing the pattern. He wasn't lazy by accident. He was lazy because it worked. My parents rewarded failure with comfort. Every time he messed up, they gave him sympathy. Every time I succeeded, they gave me silence. It wasn't jealousy anymore. It was exhaustion. I stopped going home for holidays. Every dinner turned into a worship service for Ethan. Dad toasted to how far he's come. Mom called him her miracle child. I just sat there, invisible at my own family table. My best friend, Derek, used to call it out. "Your family's toxic, man," he'd say. "Why do you still bother?" And I'd say, "Because they're still my family." But even I didn't believe it anymore. The truth was, I stayed connected out of habit, not love. I was the safety net they'd built their lives around. If something went wrong, they called me. When bills piled up, they called me. When Ethan wanted a new gadget, Dad hinted that I should help out. And most of the time, I did. Because saying no meant weeks of guilt and lectures about being selfish. But deep down, I knew it couldn't last forever. At some point, I'd have to stop paying for Ethan's mistakes. I just didn't know then that the breaking point would come disguised as love. I met Claire at a tech conference in Austin. She worked in marketing for a startup. Smart, confident, with a laugh that pulled you in instantly. We started talking during a panel break and never really stopped. That night turned into dinner, then drinks, then hours of conversation. She understood my sense of humor, my ambition, my quiet side. With her, I didn't feel like I had to prove anything. For the first time, I felt seen. We started dating soon after. She lived 2 hours away, but distance never felt like a problem. Weekends together turned into her spending most nights at my place. She made life feel lighter. She'd bring coffee when I worked late, cook dinner when I forgot to eat. She never asked for anything but time and honesty. After a year, she moved in. Our routines blended perfectly. We split bills, planned trips, built something that felt equal. There were no power games, no guilt. Just balance. My friends loved her. Derek said she was the best thing that ever happened to me. He was right. We took trips to Vancouver, Seattle, and San Diego. Every memory felt easy, effortless. We talked about the future, a house, maybe kids, definitely a dog. I thought I finally had it all figured out. On our 2-year anniversary, I proposed. A quiet dinner at a resort in Sedona. The ring cost $12,000. It was worth every cent when she said yes with tears in her eyes. We spent that night planning our future. I called my parents the next day to share the news. Mom was thrilled. Dad said he was proud. Ethan barely reacted. He joked that I finally found someone who could tolerate my seriousness. I laughed it off, thinking he was being funny. Claire met my family a week later. They loved her instantly. Mom said she was good for me. Ethan said she was a keeper. I thought it was nice they got along. Claire was kind to everyone, even Ethan. She laughed at his jokes, listened to his stories, treated him like family. I saw it as a good thing. Maybe, I thought, she could bring peace into this broken family. Ethan started texting her occasionally, asking for advice about gifts or dating. She showed me the messages, thought he was just trying to grow up. I believed her. I trusted both of them completely. For a while, life felt almost perfect. My career was thriving. Our relationship was strong. For once, my parents were proud, and even Ethan seemed stable. I let my guard down. I thought the past was finally behind me. I thought I escaped the family drama for good. But that peace was temporary. The storm was already building, quietly, slowly, behind every smile. And I didn't see it coming until it was far too late. It started small. Ethan began showing up more often. Family dinners, game nights, little gatherings. He always found a way to sit next to Claire. He made her laugh, told stories I'd never heard before. She said he was funny, that he reminded her of me when I relaxed. I thought it was harmless. Ethan finally seemed to be growing up. He was polite, charming, even helped with the dishes. Mom called it a miracle. Dad said maybe Claire was a good influence on him. I wanted to believe that. I really did. But then he started texting her more often. At first, it was innocent stuff. Advice about dating, gift ideas for mom. She showed me everything, said it was cute. Then she stopped showing me. She'd laugh at her phone and change the topic when I asked. I brushed it off, told myself I trusted her. We were engaged. We were planning a wedding. Why would I doubt her? But things started to shift. Claire became distant. She started criticizing small things. She said I worked too much, that I was too serious, too predictable. She said Ethan was more spontaneous, more fun. It stung, but I stayed calm. I planned trips, surprises, anything to fix the tension. She smiled, said she appreciated it, then went right back to being cold the next week. I didn't see the truth yet. I thought she was just stressed. 6 months before the wedding, she said she needed space. I asked if I did something wrong. She said she didn't know. She packed a bag and left. Just like that. I sat on the bed, staring at the half-empty closet. Her perfume still lingered on the pillow. I texted, called, begged her to talk. She said she needed time. Every word felt rehearsed. Derek moved in for a week just to make sure I was okay. He told me what I refused to hear. She's seeing someone else, man. I said no, that couldn't be true. He said women don't ask for space unless they already have someone waiting. I didn't believe him. 2 weeks later, I had no choice. Mom called, said the family needed to talk. I thought they wanted to support me. I was wrong. I walked into their house and saw Ethan and Claire holding hands. She was wearing the necklace I bought her for Christmas. Mom smiled like it was normal. Dad said I should be happy for them. I just stood there numb. 4 months, they said. 4 months behind my back. While I was planning a future, they were planning theirs. I didn't shout. I didn't break anything. I just walked out. That night, I sat in my car for hours. No music, no tears. Just silence. Something inside me shut off completely. That was the moment I stopped being their son, her fiancé, his brother. That was the night I became done. 2 months passed before I heard from them again. Mom texted first, pretending nothing had happened. She said the family missed me. She wanted us to have dinner for my birthday. I ignored it for a week. Then curiosity got the better of me. I wanted to see how far they'd go this time. So I agreed. I chose the restaurant, an expensive steakhouse downtown. 8 seats, private table, good wine. If I was going to sit through hell, it might as well taste good. I arrived early and opened a tab. Told the hostess I'd be paying for everyone. My card, my table, my rules. Mom and Dad arrived first, smiling like nothing had ever broken. They hugged me, acted proud. Said how good it felt to have the family together again. I smiled, played along. Then Ethan walked in. With Claire. And her parents. And her sister. Perfectly 8 people. Exactly what I'd reserved. I almost laughed at the symmetry. Ethan grinned like this was some kind of celebration. Said, "Hope you don't mind, man. Wanted everyone here." I said it was fine. More the merrier. The meal began. Drinks, appetizers, forced smiles. Everyone talked like we were one big happy family. Nobody mentioned my birthday. Not once. Ethan ordered the most expensive steak on the menu. Claire's dad drank top-shelf scotch. They laughed, toasted, enjoyed the show. I stayed quiet, calm, polite. I even made small talk with Claire's mom about her garden. Ethan looked like a man who thought he'd won. Halfway through dinner, he stood up and tapped his glass. My stomach dropped, but I already knew. He smiled, arm around Claire. "We've got an announcement," he said. Claire froze. Her face turned pale. He didn't care. Claire and I were engaged. The table erupted in cheers. Mom cried. Dad shook Ethan's hand. Claire's parents clapped awkwardly. No one looked at me. Not once. I took a slow sip of bourbon and watched the scene. It felt unreal. Like a bad play I'd already seen before. Ethan looked straight at me. "No hard feelings, right?" he said. The room went silent. Everyone waited for me to explode. I didn't. I smiled. "None at all," I said. I raised my glass to them. They all relaxed. They thought I'd forgiven him. They thought I was the bigger man. I paid the $4,200 bill without hesitation. Tipped the waiter generously. No one thanked me. No one said happy birthday. We walked out into the parking lot. Ethan hugged me, said I was the best brother ever. Claire thanked me for being so understanding. I smiled again. "Of course," I said. He joked about making me his best man. I told him I'd think about it. They drove away, laughing. Derek stood beside me, silent. He said, "That was the most messed up thing I've ever seen." I nodded. He looked at me carefully. "You're planning something, aren't you?" I smiled. "Yeah," I said. And for the first time in months, I actually meant it. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat in my office, staring at my computer screen. Every memory, every insult, every betrayal played on repeat. Then I remembered something Ethan had forgot. His car. A BMW 330i. Shiny, red, and expensive. He loved that car more than anything. And he only had it because of me. 3 years ago, Dad had begged me to co-sign the loan. Ethan's credit was garbage, so I agreed to help. Big mistake. He made 4 payments before quitting his job. The bank started calling me. To protect my credit, I paid it myself. $670 a month. Every month. For 3 years. Over $24,000 gone. While he bragged about his new ride. While I worked overtime to cover the bill. That night, I logged into the account. Then I called the bank. I told them to stop all payments. The woman warned me it would trigger repossession. I told her I understood. I wanted it to happen. For once, I wanted Ethan to deal with reality. The first month, nothing happened. He probably thought everything was fine. Still driving, still pretending. The second month, he texted me. "Hey bro, the bank keeps calling about my car. Scam, right?" I said, "Yeah, block the number." He laughed and thanked me. Week 3, another message. "This is weird. They say my account's past due." I said, "Ignore it." He did. By the 3rd month, the panic started. He called me at 8 in the morning. "Bro, the bank says they're taking my car." I told him to talk to Dad. Dad said I'd been paying. He called again, voice shaking. "You've been paying for my car this whole time." 3 years, I said. He went silent. "That's thousands of dollars," he said. 24,000 plus interest. He begged me to keep paying. Said he'd pay me back later. I said no. He screamed, said he needed it for work. I said maybe, He should have thought about that before. Then I hung up. Mom called next. She said I was cruel. Said Ethan had been through enough. I told her I wasn't his bank anymore. Dad tried reasoning with me. Said I was being childish. I said I was being free. Then I blocked them all. Ethan showed up at my door a week later. He pounded, yelled, threatened, begged. I didn't open. 2 weeks later, the repo truck found him. They took the car, right from his work parking lot. He texted me, furious. They took my car. Are you happy now? I replied, very. Then I blocked him too. The silence that followed was beautiful. For the first time, there was peace. No calls, no guilt, no demands. Just quiet. I poured a drink and watched the sunset. I didn't feel proud or vengeful. I felt done. He lost his car, his credit, his control. I gained something far better. My freedom. Weeks passed after the repo. The silence from my family became permanent. Then word started spreading. Ethan and Claire postponed their wedding. Her father refused to pay for it after learning the truth. They moved into a tiny apartment near downtown. No BMW, no savings, no fairy tale. Ethan took the bus to work. Claire drove him around in her old Civic. They argued constantly about money and blame. I heard about it through friends, not family. Mom tried calling from new numbers. I ignored every one of them. Dad sent an email asking me to make peace. I deleted it without reading past the first line. For the first time in years, I felt calm. No guilt, no expectations, no weight. Derek threw a small party to celebrate. We called it the Freedom Night. He raised a glass and said, "To consequences." I laughed, feeling lighter than ever. I didn't need revenge anymore. Just distance. They chose betrayal. I chose peace. And for the first time in my life, I didn't owe anyone a damn thing.